Hey there, and welcome. So, today we're going to tackle one of the trickiest parts of English. You guessed it, irregular verbs. If they've ever, tripped you up, you're in the right place. Stick around, and we're going to make these make sense for good. I love this quote because it's so true, right? That feeling of frustration is totally real. But here's the thing, they're not actually scary. It's just that maybe you haven't been introduced to them properly. So you know what? Let's fix that right now. Sound familiar? I good to school. We've all been there. And, it's a totally logical mistake to make because you're just following the normal rule. But here's the catch. Irregular verbs, they just don't play by those rules. And of course, the correct way to say it is, I went to school. I mean, look at that. It's a completely different word. So what is going on here? Why does a verb like go just decide to break all the rules? Well, it all boils down to one single key difference. And I promise you, once you get this, the whole idea of regular versus irregular verbs is going to click into place. Okay, so here's the deal. On one side, you've got your regular verbs. These guys are predictable. They follow the rules. You just add ed or d and you're done. Walk becomes walked. Simple. But then you've got the irregular verbs. These are the rebels, the rule breakers. There's no single pattern. Each one changes in its own weird and wonderful way. So the trick isn't to try and find some secret rule. It's just to get to know them, one by one. Okay, let's dive in and meet some of the most famous of these rule breakers. These are the ones you're going to find yourself using pretty much every single day. First up, the classic, to go. Now, its three forms are go, went, and gone. Just look at that transformation. There's not an ed anywhere in sight. So let's see how they actually work in a sentence. I go to school daily. That's the present, something that happens regularly. Then, he went to the market. That's the simple past. It happened, it's over. And finally, she has gone home. That's the past participle. You'll often see this one paired up with helper words like has, have, or had. All right, next up we have to give, and look, it's another complete transformation. We've got give, gave, and given. Let's put them to work. I give him a pen. That's present tense. She gave me a book, a completed action in the past. And they have given us a chance. There's that past participle again. Are you kind of starting to see the pattern of how these different forms get used? And for our last example, for now, let's do a verb we all use every day, to eat. This one changes to eat, ate, and eaten. And you'll see it follows that same logic. I eat breakfast at 7 a.m. That's a habit, it's in the present. She ate noodles for lunch. That's done, it's in the past. And they have eaten everything. There's that past participle form again. So you see, you've got your present, your simple past, and that past participle for each one. All right, enough theory. Now it's your turn to get in on the action. Let's do a really quick practice session to help all of this sink in. You ready? Let's do this. Okay, here's the first one. Fill in the blank. The small plant, blank, very fast last month. The verb you need is grow. Now, the big clue here is last month, which tells you it's in the past. So, take a second. What do you think it is? And the answer is grew. The small plant grew very fast last month. Hey, if you got that one right, awesome job. You're already starting to get the hang of this. Okay, one more for you. The artist, blank, a beautiful portrait during the art class. Your verb is draw. And again, during the art class tells us it already happened. So what's the past tense of draw? And the answer is drew. The artist drew a beautiful portrait. Fantastic. See, the real key to getting good at this is just practice and seeing them in use over and over again. And you're already doing it. Okay, so we've covered the big difference between regular and irregular verbs, and you've even practiced with some of the most common ones. So the big question is, what's the next step to really mastering this stuff? I want you to leave with this thought. You are totally on your way to mastering these rule breakers. Seriously, you've already started. Now it's just about getting familiar with the rest of them. And hey, if you're feeling ready to take that next step, Teacher Azianie actually has a full workbook that covers 112 of these verbs. It's packed with a ton more exercises, just like the ones we did, to really help you lock it all in and build up that confidence. You can find it over at teacherazanie.blogspot.com. Learning these verbs isn't just about memorizing words, it's about gaining the confidence to speak and write more fluently. Which kind of leaves me with one last thought. Are these verbs really rule breakers? Are they just playing a different game altogether?